Om Gam Ganapatye Namaha, Kaliyugada Kalpataru, The Fifth Delight, Shri Raghavendra Gurusarvabhauma, Chapter 106, Blessings upon the Lovers of Food. As part of his pilgrimage, Shri Raghavendra Swamiguru arrived at the sacred town of Harihara Kshetra, situated along the banks of the Tungabhadra river. This place was particularly radiant with its numerous agraharas, that is, Brahmin settlements. The devout townspeople, full of reverence, felt blessed to host Sri Rayaru, offering Pada Puja, Bhiksha, and various services with deep devotion. One day, after completing his daily teachings, that is Pata, Sri Rayaru summoned the Matha manager and instructed, "Today, prepare extra offerings for Sri Rama in the form of hot cooked rice, that is Shavige, Paramanna, that is sweet rice, jilebis and ladus." Shortly afterwards, while Sri Rayaru was engaged in conversation with devout visitors, the manager introduced three Madhva Brahmins, radiant and dignified in appearance. One of them respectfully said, "Having heard of your divine fame, O revered Guruvarya, we, your humble disciples, have come for your darshan, to receive your mantra mudra dharana and blessings. Kindly bestow your grace upon us." Sri Rayaru, smiling with warmth, replied, "Very good. I am pleased. I shall initiate you with the mantra and mudra. After completing your bath and midday rituals, come quickly for darshan of Sri Moolarama." He then left for his own bath and puja preparations. The three Brahmins proceeded towards the Tungabhadra river for their bath. Along the way, one of them, seemingly casual in nature, remarked, "Everyone says the Guru is great Mahatma. Well, if today he serves me my favorite jalebi for lunch, then I'll accept him as a true Mahatma." The second said, "And if I receive ladus, my favorite, I too will believe in his greatness." The third Brahmin, who was more composed and spiritually inclined, chastised them. "This is not right. We should never test a Mahatma. Above all, Sri Rayaru, who is not only Jagadguru but also our Kuluguru, must never be tested. It's a great offense." But the first two Brahmins defended themselves, saying, "We do believe in Rayaru's greatness. This is exactly why we are hoping he blesses us by fulfilling even our silent desires. Is it wrong to desire such grace from our Guru?" The spiritually radiant third Brahmana gently advised, "From a Guru, one must seek jnana, that is knowledge, bhakti, that is devotion, and vairagya, that is dispassion, and karuna, that is compassion, not mere indulgences for tongue or belly. Our speech must reflect reverence, not frivolity." Though the other two Brahmanas were somewhat dissatisfied with the rebuke, they didn't argue. With a sleepish smile, they teasingly asked, "Well then, what is your favorite delicacy?" He calmly replied, "The Guru knows what I like. If he chooses to bless me with anything, I shall accept it as his divine will. But I will not desire, like you two, not try to test him. I have no wicked intent to measure a great saint like him." As the three reached the river bank and prepared to bath, they saw a Mata servant standing on a rock and washing Sri Rayaru's Sheshavastra, that is sacred leftover garments. The servant looked up, smiling mischievously, and called out, "Ah, so the lovers of sweets have arrived. Quickly finish your bath. The Guru will soon fulfill your cravings." Startled, one of the Brahmanas asked, "Wait, what did you just say? What do you mean?" The servant, now with dry hands and holding the wet garments, looked confused. "What are you talking about? I didn't speak to you. I don't even know who you are." And then, without another word, he resumed his work in silence. The Brahmanas were stunned. "Is he pretending? He just spoke to us so clearly." They wondered if perhaps he was mentally unwell. But just as they dismissed the incident, the same servant, now finished, turned back again and called, "Did you hear me or not? Hurry up and finish your bath. The Guru is waiting to fulfill your heart's desire." And off he walked towards the Matha. Now fully bathed and even curious, the Brahmanas stood speechless in the river. What is going on? First he speaks as if he knows our unspoken thoughts, then denies it. and now repeats it again. What could this mean? The wise Brahmana, who had earlier warned them, smiled and explained, I told you not to test great saints. Do you see now? This is not just about the Guru himself, but the power even in his Sheshavastra, that is, sacred clothes. Did you notice the pattern? When he held the Guru's garments, he spoke with divine insight. Once he set them down, he seemed unaware and denied knowing us. This is the glory of the Guru's garments. Even the one who touches them becomes a medium of the Guru's grace. Let this be a lesson. Let's go now and seek forgiveness and blessings with sincerity. The three returned towards the Matha, humbled, curious, and transformed. By the time the three Brahmanas returned to the Matha, the Naivedya, that is offering, had been made, and Sri Rayaru was performing the Mahamanglarati, that is great ceremonial waving of flights, to Sri Rama. After the deity's worship concluded and Tirtha Prasada was distributed, Sri Rayaru summoned the Matha caretakers and, pointing to the three Brahmanas, instructed, seat this gentleman in front of the decorated Brahmanas, lay out banana leaves accordingly and serve them with reverence. All assembled devotees, adorned with sandal paste and sacred rice grains, approached the meal setting. Sri Rayaru sat at the center to receive bhiksha, that is ritual offerings, and directed the caretakers to seat the three Brahmanas in front of the chief guests. The meal commenced. After the portion of food was served, Sri Rayaru again called the caretakers and pointed to each Brahmana, saying, to the radiant Brahmana at the first leaf, serve sweetened rice pudding payasa, to the next one, to him, jilebi, and to the third, ladus. Serve all abundantly. The cooks, following these divine instructions, joyfully served them all. Then Sri Rayaru smiled and said, Dear Brahmanas, you have come from afar to seek our darshan. Please enjoy these dishes you love most. At your leisure. The three were thunderstruck. Overwhelmed, they froze in disbelief. The radiant Brahmana stood up and spoke humbly, O Master, I have committed no lesser offense. Though I did not make the request, I accompanied those who did, and thereby share in their error. Kindly forgive us and bless us as your true disciples. Upon hearing this, the surrounding scholars and devotees, curious about the strange exchange, asked the three what had happened. They narrated everything from their conversation en route to the river, the strange Mata servant who mysteriously knew their desires, to the divine alignment of the exact sweets they had privately wished for. The radiant Brahmana exclaimed, Even I, who didn't ask, received payasa, my most beloved dish, unspoken yet granted. See the glory of Sri Rayaru, who fulfilled our hidden desires, even without our asking. After the meal, all three approached Sri Rayaru, bowed deeply, and with folded hands asked forgiveness and blessings. Sri Rayaru, smiling graciously, comforted them and blessed each with sacred akshata, gifts, and affectionate words. He then turned to the radiant one and said, Timmanna Bhatta, come closer. You are most fortunate. Don't feel troubled by the events. This too was the will of the Lord. You and your descendants shall forever receive the privilege of serving us and our Matha. May you always be blessed. Thus, the three Brahmanas were transformed by this miracle, and the incident became one of the many shining jewels in the life of Sri Raghavendra Swami, a testimony to his omniscience, compassion, and the sanctity of his ever gesture. Hari Om. Om Sri Krishnarpanamastu.